Welcome to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Dr. Pepper. Now, this is how you make an entrance in Mobile, Alabama, the birthplace of Mardi Gras. From tossing beads to throwing bombs, Major Applewhite South Alabama offense, one of the most dangerous in America. For Clay Helton and Georgia Southern, they are focused on making this November one to truly remember. Never again. The rally cry after letting their chances in the Sun Belt evaporate with last year's collapse. It's Georgia Southern at South Alabama. The Sun Belt Conference, the most dramatic and chaotic league in America. Georgia Southern 3-1 in the East, but coming off a loss against ODU. South Alabama 3-1 in the West, where Louisiana is favored to win it all. Hello and welcome to Mobile. I'm Loa Galindo with my guy, the Texas legend, Fonzie Whitaker. Now, the Sun Belt living up to the Fun Belt nickname. It's nuts in this league. Entering this weekend, 7 conference teams with 1 loss in conference or fewer, the only league in America to be able to say that. How do these two teams that are in the mix tonight factor into that race?
Well, this conference is a battle royale, and what better way to sum that up than my lapel pin, Mortal Kombat. It's feast or famine, and whenever you step on the field, you better have an identity of how you want to attack the team that you're going with, or else you will get embarrassed.
Georgia Southern trying to figure out their identity offensively, coming off a bad loss against Old Dominion. Could we see a change at quarterback? J.C. French will get this start. He will keep going as long as the offense moves. But Clay Helton told us if it slows down, Dexter Williams will get a shot.
Yeah, 8 starts, and like you talked about, Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, get over here. If J.C. French is not proving the way that he needs to prove, look out. See Dexter Williams early to provide a spark to the offense for Georgia Southern.
Now, for South Alabama, this is a sneaky elite offense that is both balanced and brutal. How about this? 3.5 yards per carry after contact this season. That is one of the best marks in all of college football.
Ultimately, this run game has proven very successful for South Alabama. They have a 3-headed rushing attack with all 3 running backs, and then you sprinkle in a little bit of Gio Lopez toting the rock as well. 355 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns just a week ago, and most of it happened in the second half, where if you're talking about Mortal Kombat, you gotta what? Finish him. And that's exactly what South Alabama running backs were able to do, put up school record against an FBS opponent.
Come on, people, it's November. This is the month champions are made, and this pretty much is an elimination game in the Sun Belt. Eagles, Jags kickoff coming up next. Clay Helton, head coach at Georgia Southern, known for his positivity. That was on display moments ago when he pumped up his team in the locker room.
Here starts that season, and the only thing that matters is going 1-0 tonight. Do whatever it takes for your football family to go 1-0 tonight. Let's start this new season right here. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win!
Clay Helton wants to get his offense jump-started. He told us that if his Eagles won the toss, they would take the football, which they rarely do. However, South Alabama won the toss. They elected to defer, so Helton and Georgia Southern will get its way. They will get the football first. Mobile, are you ready? DeAndre Buchanan taking the opening kick and upended shy of the 20-yard line. Popping pads early. J.C. French, the starting quarterback for Georgia Southern. Conversations this week between French, Dexter Williams, the backup, and the head coach, Clay Helton. The plan is to start French, let him roll, and like playoff baseball, if the starter is hot, he will stay in. Jalen White, the starting tailback. And White with the carry, patience, left side, looking for some room, has it, and it takes 3 Jaguars to bring him down at the 35-yard line. Jalen White, team captain, leading rusher for these Eagles. Now, French, the model of consistency and ball security to start the season. 1 interception in his first 5 games, however, 5 in the last 3. Quick pitch and catch to LV Bunkley Shelton. What will be key for J.C. French tonight?
Ultimately getting in a rhythm. Right now, we see this team playing very well. Big explosive first down run. Now you got second and short and manageable. This is what they needed to start the game off with.
French will throw. And that catch is made by Derwin Burris Jr. And Burgess now has a catch in 36 straight games, extending the school record that he set 4 games ago.
Yeah, he's the difference maker for this offense, especially through the air. Leading receiver, he has an opportunity to really make a statement in this game every time he touches the rock.
3rd and 1. An Eagles offense that struggles on their initial 3rd down on a drive and then is nearly unstoppable after. Big fella in motion. And the throw downfield incomplete, looking for Burgess. Clay Helton also told us, out of respect for South Alabama's offense, they will be more aggressive on 4th down.
Yeah, ultimately you see J.C. French and Derwin Burgess Jr. not on the same page there. He's expecting Derwin Burgess to fade a little bit towards the sideline. Burgess had a different idea, thinking back shoulder, and you see the miscommunication, the errant throw there.
Eagles 6 of 9 on 4th down this season. O.J. Arnold motions. Play clock winding down, and it's going to be a timeout called by Georgia Southern. What do you make of that, Fozzie?
Yeah, I think that's a play where they were trying to get the opposing defense to jump. South Alabama did a great job of honing into their keys, not jumping into the neutral zone, giving up free yardage. It's a chance timeout now to go over and choose a play that they really like and then figure out if they can pick it up with 4th and 1.
2 teams know each other well in their battles in the Sun Belt. This one of the most significant that we've seen in years because both teams alive for the Sun Belt race in the West and East. Eagles leading the series all time 7-2, but the Jaguars got them last in 2022. Fourth and short. And J.C. French in the offense back out there.
Quite early in the game to call a timeout, though. We'll see if it works.
Five on the play clock. Arnold in motion. French will take it right side, and he's got the necessary yardage. Huge 4th down pickoff on this opening drive.
Yeah, that's something that they had to have. And you see, they got all the big guys up front. J.C. French does a great job of reading the soft spot in the defense, picking up good positive yardage, 1st down for Georgia Southern.
Tight end Tyler Fromm in motion, and the pass from French goes right to him. Cannot make him miss. That's Blaine Myrick, the leading tackler for South Alabama.
Myrick does such a great job of having a read and feel for where the ball is going to go. You're going to see his number flying around the field every single play.
That's a win on 1st down for a team recently struggling on early downs. The pitch to O.J. Arnold. And nearly runs over his own man, Dalen Cobb, before Wesley Miller and Myrick are there for the stop.
Being physical, that's the key. String plays, whenever you have guys like Myrick and Miller coming up playing aggressively, then you got to match the aggression on the opposing side from an offensive blocking standpoint. That time, the Jaguars brought the aggressiveness to Georgia Southern. small, minimal gain.
Eagles top 25 nationally on third down. This is the look they want. Heavy to the left side. French, second leading carrier for this Eagles team, shows the athleticism, another clutch conversion.
Yeah, I think that's an underrated part and value of his game. As you see, Tyler Frum does a great job getting around the edge and then sealing that block to be able to allow J.C. French to get around the edge, pick up the first down there.
We heard from the Jaguars defensive coordinator, Will Wyndham. We want to make the Eagles drive the football. However, these long drives are where Georgia Southern is at their best. French pump fake, pressured by Maurice Strong, and dumps it to Arnold. That's going to be incomplete. Parker Shattuck broke that one up. Shattuck, a young guy, is getting a lot more run now with Gavin Forshea out for the season with an ACL.
Yeah, and that's the first play that we didn't see Georgia Southern get positive yardage. And that's something to look out for because ultimately they want to be efficient on first down.
The late pull. Jalen White with a carry. Courtney McBride with the stop. Sets up a situation where the Eagles are desperate to stay out of.
Yeah, you get in third and long, this opportunity where South Alabama loves to pin their ears back, and they like to bring simulated pressures. You don't know who's going to come, who's going to drop. Sometimes that can be confusing.
They call that simulated pressure creepers. It's actually one of the lowest blitz rates in all of college football. But the confused quarterbacks bringing 4 from different spots on the field. French will step up and run. French is going to dive forward, and the spot is 1 yard north of the sticks. 3rd and 8 conversion with the legs.
You see here, man-to-man, J.C. French, his first 2 options are not available. He says, hey, nobody's guarding me or covering the middle of the field. I will tuck it and go pick up the positive yardage. Again, an underrated value of his game.
And immediately, Carlos Johnson, number 90, local product from here in Mobile. He was grabbing his leg after that stop, now limping off the field. Johnson, a key component, especially inside for this South Alabama defense.
He kind of landed awkwardly, trying to chase down J.C. French, and kind of hit him as he landed, and it just seemed like an awkward landing by him.
Arnold, the tailback. The pitch to him and back to him. He's got Myrick one-on-one. Shows the burners to the edge and down to the 15-yard line, where it was met by Jordan Scruggs.
Big dynamic play. You see the play action, fake toss. Everybody's dropping out in coverage. O.J. Arnold says, hey, you're going to give me all this open room. I will take advantage of it. And you see the explosiveness that he possesses, something slightly different than Jalen White.
19-yard pickup. This is strength on strength. One of the best red zone offenses in America against one of the top red zone defenses.
Lillard, a tight end here.
French will throw inside. Dalen Cobb squirreling through a couple of tackles, and a flag is down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 6, defense. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
See, as Dalen Cobb's trying to get positive yardage, Wesley Miller's hands just right on the inside of that face mask. It's a correct call, absolutely. And something that South Alabama cannot afford as Georgia Southern's driving deep in their territory.
And once again, going with the big nasties. Carry following Johnny Brown, the offensive lineman. Akil Washington makes the stop on Jalen White. Seeing a lot of extra offensive linemen get into the backfield, line up. has extra blockers on this drive, Fozzie.
Absolutely. It's something that obviously Georgia Southern wanted to use, but Akil Washington does a great job using his hands, fending off one blocker, defeating him, and then getting upfield to be able to hold that to a no gain.
Georgia Southern cashing in at 82% in the red zone. 6th best touchdown percentage in the FBS. French finds a hole. It's going to be close.
JC French with the carry.
And spotted at the 1-foot line. Casey French has said, do not forget about my wheels on this drive.
Little misdirection there. They fake the sweep with the running back. Then you got your puller. Caleb Cook kicks out, and J.C. French lowers that shoulder. 3rd and goal from the 1-inch yard line.
Watch Tyler Fromm, number 7, the tight end, right side of the formation, the top red zone target. The fake, up the gut, David Badinga, touchdown number 3 on the season, and that is an opening drive statement for the Eagles offense.
Absolutely. Bryson Broadway, the right tackle, take a look. He swarms everything down on the film. It allows a big opening with some misdirection for David Badinga to be able to get in there. First score for Georgia Southern, exactly the way they wanted to start this game.
They wanted the football. They wanted to be methodical and state their case that this offense is still healthy and ready to roll. How about 16 plays, 81 yards on a drive where they pick up on 3rd down 3 times and 4th down once for 7 points.
Welcome back to Mobile, Alabama, where we just witnessed Georgia Southern take the first drive into the end zone, led by this man right here, right tackle Bryson Broadway. My old O-line coach used to say, score with your man in the end zone. Good things happen. You see David Badinga does a great job following that opening there.
It's going to be a contrast to style. South Alabama known to go quick. Georgia Southern, more of that. Long drives, time-consuming. That was their 9th touchdown drive of at least 11 plays. They entered the weekend with only Oregon State with 4 of those touchdown drives. Gio Lopez, the best combination of ball security and aggressiveness in college football. He takes downfield shots, and he joins Brady Cook as the only quarterbacks with at least 200 passing attempts and 1 interception.
Yeah, Major Applewhite saw something special in this guy a season ago. Now first year as the true starter. He's getting his legs underneath him. He's playing very well right now.
And he's got a few great tailbacks, including this one, Kentrell Bullock. Bullock keeps fighting. It is one of the most physical backfields, including the quarterback in the game.
Absolutely. You see why they were able to finish Louisiana Monroe just a week ago, averaging over 100 yards each of the running backs that got in. Physicality is the name of the game by this offense.
7 yards on 1st down. And we got a flag down.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Second.
So that is not what you want. Solid drive. Starting run, only to be backed up. Bullock turning the corner. You want some? Get some! Taking on Mark Stampley all by himself. And Bullock won that 14 yards.
And this is what you're going to see. You're going to get misdirection. They're running quarterback counter to the right with jet sweep running back action. And whenever Kentrell Bullock gets the ball, you better be ready to go, or else, young man, buckle up. It's going to be a long ride.
3.5 yards after contact per carry, as Stampley is now down after that collision with Kentrell Bullock. is being checked out by the Georgia Southern medical staff and his head coach, Clay Helton. So Mark Stampley, the corner, was able to make it off the field under his own power. Injuries are a factor. Davon Hicks, number 4 right there, getting the start at linebacker for Georgia Southern after Marquez Watson-Trent, the team captain, the leading tackler in the Sun Belt, is ill, and we were told by the Eagles staff would not start in this game, still could play.
Yeah, that's one of the most unfortunate things to happen. You're going against the #1 rushing team in the conference that just went for 355 yards a week ago. It's probably best to have your leading tackler on the field, but ultimately football is a game where the next man up mentality must prevail.
1st and 10 for Gio Lopez. And Kentrell Bullock throwing for the first time, showing some RPMs to Devin Voisin, second leader in catches. Now, there are some positive injury news for Georgia Southern. Number 31, Chance Gamble, he's been a starting cornerback for the Eagles defense, returns for the first time since breaking his finger in the win against Georgia State. Lopez, the lefty, hits as he throws to Jamal Pritchett. No one does it better than that man. One of the most difficult receivers to tackle in the open field in the game.
Absolutely. Every time he touches the rock, Major Applewhite says he had the mentality to score. He makes one guy miss, reads the block, and then just the physicality with the receiving yards after the catch. That's what he's big in.
Lopez throwing on the run. He loves this and finds Jeremiah Webb. There is a distinct momentum building for the Jazz.
Especially when you're going tempo. But Gio Lopez does a great job rolling to the right as a left-handed quarterback, being able to get his hips around, deliver an accurate ball, big explosive play.
A lot of coordinators talk about flushing the quarterback out of the pocket. May not be a good thing with him. Bullock keeps churning down to the 22-yard line. MJ Stroud with the stop. 11-yard pickup.
This is when the team is at its best. Ripping off big runs, big explosive plays. It's impossible to defend whenever you're going tempo as well.
High snap for Lopez, not the biggest dude. To Jamal Pritchett in space and a fine open field tackle made by Aiden Jackson.
That's one way to slow down the offense. Put them in negative yardage situations with the high snap. It makes it tough for Gio Lopez to stay on cue.
Well, talk about slowing down South Alabama. Bullock comes off. Fluff Bothwell comes on. It's the only running back duo in America with 500 rushing yards each. Pick your poison. Anthony Eager in motion. Lopez looking left. Back over the middle. Dangerous off the fingertips of Jeremiah Webb. There is the former OC, now head coach, Major Applewhite. Did an electric job as Kane Womack's offensive coordinator, now getting a second crack as a head coach after 2 years with the Houston Cougars. He's putting his stamp on this program. That is a tough dude on their sidelines.
Absolutely. We've seen Major for some years now, and he's done a great job. First year here, establishing the identity that he wants his team to have here in Mobile, Alabama.
3rd and long. Lopez out to Pritchett. Another open field stop by Aiden Jackson. 2 huge ones for number 25 on this drive.
Yeah, he's their best cover guy. Whenever we talked to Coach a couple of weeks ago about how good this guy is, having to play nickel, having to play safety, Aiden Jackson is a difference maker for this defense. When he's playing like that, it makes it really hard to defeat and throw some of those quick games like we've seen Southern Alabama have success with.
Lake Margin is on for the field goal attempt. He's also a little under the weather. 41 yards. Fighting through that element. And it's up and pure. Lake Margin gets South Alabama on the board to cap their opening drive. Both offenses finding points to start here in Mobile in this close to elimination game in the Sun Belt. No mistake about it, they love their SEC football in these parts as well. And we've got a heck of an ABC college football lineup next Saturday. Texas hosting Florida at noon Eastern in Austin. That's a different looking Florida team now. Then it's off to Oxford for Georgia and Ole Miss. Georgia with a close call against Florida. And we cap the night in Death Valley with 16th ranked LSU hosting number 14 Alabama. See it on ABC and ESPN+. Mo Galindo here with Fozzie Whitaker on a beautiful night with perfect weather in Mobile, Alabama for a game with major ramifications in the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern, the 7-3 lead. Here's Buchanan with his second return attempt. And again, it's not a good ending as Demarion Darby makes a stop. How about J.C. French and the way he opened up this game?
Yeah, ultimately we were talking about the way he throws the ball in the interceptions and taking care of it, but it is his legs that utilizes the X factor for Georgia Southern to find a way to move the ball down the field, pick up a couple of first downs, and ultimately put up 7 on the board.
I think the best way to describe this Eagles offense, it's solid. And that's not an insult. There's not the individuals that make the wow plays, but the sum is greater than the parts. First and 10 for French and company. Jalen White, slow and steady to the left side and picks up a yard and a half. Jordan Norman is there for the stop. So when you don't have the explosive playmakers like South Alabama, how do you win a game like this?
Yeah, methodical is what I think of. The first drive that they had to open the game out, they were methodical, and they've shown that consistency throughout the course of the season.
French will throw. They get him on the run. Makes a defender miss. Still alive in the late dump down to Bunkley Shelton. Oh! Hidden again here in Mobile, and bark a little bit, why don't you?
Look at the composure by J.C. French. Makes the guy miss, stays composed, nears the line of scrimmage, gets pressure, dumps it off to LV, and then LV does the rest. But look at those moves right there, LG. Can you dance like that?
A little shake
and bake.
Jordan Scruggs had the pop on the sideline. Sets up a 3rd and 1. That's O.J. Arnold moving around. And Clay Helton will call his second time out in the first quarter.
This is their second charge, team timeout. 30 seconds.
So with Georgia Southern, you start to understand why a timeout is called in this situation. It has one of the highest 3-and-out rates in the FBS, meaning it's tough for them to start their drive. But once they convert that initial 3rd down, the offense is close to unstoppable.
Unbelievable 3rd down conversion percentage, around 50% of their 3rd down conversions. But to your point, whenever they get that first down, the first one, then that's whenever it starts rolling. So the timeouts are critical, because if they don't get it, then ultimately you don't want to give the ball back to an additionally explosive offense that they're going against, and we just saw put up 3 points.
It's like that Diesel, not the electronic Mustang that you drive. Diesel takes a little while to get that thing cranked up, but then it goes to the backfield, and fighting forward is Jalen White. Initial spot looks like it will be a first down, and it is. That is the 4th 3rd down conversion tonight for the Eagles on the second drive.
Yeah, being able to do it on the run, too. We saw Bryson Broadway force his way into the end zone to help David Badinga. Now we see Pishon Wembley do a great job pulling in front, getting physical at the point of attack, pushing for another first down for the Eagles.
To the tight end, Fraud. 2 Jags are there to make the stop. Darius McKenzie with the tackle. French to Arnold. Fromm gives him a block on the perimeter. Shakes one tackle, two tackles, and scrambling his way right to the sticks is O.J. Arnold again. Move the chains for the first down.
You mentioned early on, South Alabama does not like to blitz much. Blaine Myrick comes off the edge on a blitz there. Georgia Southern makes him pay.
Quick toss. Making a miss is Dalen Cobb. So a taste of their own medicine. The Jaguars, the team known for making you miss. We're seeing it from the Eagles.
Yeah, and then the tempo also creates a big factor. Dalen Cobb there takes a no gain at the catch to a 6-yard gain to keep this offense rolling and on schedule.
First quarter winding down. Second and short. O.J. Arnold, flag is down as Arnold fights forward for a first down, pending the flag.
Encroachment. Number 2, offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's against Burgess, so move it back 5 yards. Gonna have an opportunity to talk to the Eagles head coach Clay Helton, coming back from the break between the quarters. What do you got there, Fozzie?
I love the band giving the beep, beep. This is awesome.
Great crowd tonight. How can you not love the Sun Belt? Second down. They get the snap off. Final play of the first quarter. French with time. Scrambles and dropped by Courtney McBride Jr. Sack number 4 on the season for the senior out of Hotlanta. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. Georgia Southern wanted the football to get the offense going. They got it going on the first drop. 7-3 Eagles over the Jags. Welcome back to Mobile. Now joined by Eagles head coach Clay Helton. Coach, you wanted the football first. You got it. What did you think of that opening execution?
Well, nice drive for a touchdown and took some time off the clock, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Good execution by the quarterback and the offense. Really got in rhythm. Got a little bit of a 3rd and long here right now where we need to try to keep this drive going or protect the football, one or the other.
Yeah, we'll let you go figure that out. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys. Take care.
And here's that 3rd and long, but Fozzie, J.C. French, 10-12 start for him. Huge.
Yeah, when you talked about a short lease, he's making sure he extends that right now. Level of play has been excellent.
3rd and 11 here for the Eagles. French, quick pass with blocking and fighting for the extra yards is Burgess, and that will set up a 4th and medium. And the punt team immediately comes out after that 6-yard pickup. So a hold there from the South Alabama defense. We saw the stat with Georgia Southern 3-0 when scoring first. That's also falling in the line what we're seeing from the Jaguars. They're 0-4 when the opponents score first this season. Alex Smith, all six of them, boots this one away. And a fair catch called for by Jamal Pritchett. Major Applewhite, that is a college football legend. One of the great competitors in the history of the old school Big 12. And he's learned from 2 of the greatest coaches of all time. Mack Brown, who he played for, Nick Saban, who he had multiple stints under, got a chance at Houston, 2 years as the head coach, did a fine job there. Sometimes programs, though, they don't realize what they've got. And now his first season as a head coach at South Alabama. He told us he's learned to trust himself more and not ask so many questions, have a little more authority with the way he makes decisions.
Yeah, second go round, you got a little different vision. We're seeing that vision play out in this team so far.
Bothwell, the tailback. Jaguars with an opening drive, field goal, and a penalty flag is down.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's
Please
against
reset
the
game
right
clock
tackle,
to 14
Malachi
minutes
Carney.
And 17 seconds. Thank you.
A lot of consistency on this offensive line for South Alabama. They've had the same starting 5 in every game except the Troy game. Major Applewhite brought the belt back to Mobile for the first time in a long time. First and 15. Gio Lopez loves to throw on the run, and we do not see that often. Pritchett with the oopsie drop.
It's very rare to see Jamal Pritchett drop a ball. You see it's a quick snap, it's a numbers game. Man-to-man coverage, he catches that, man. He has blockers out in front. We know how explosive and dynamic he can be. That's a play he wishes he had back.
Second and 15. The screen to Voisin. And Voisin to the 20-yard line. Seen wearing that hulking knee brace. He tore his ACL in the second game of last season. Still not 100%, but fighting to get back to help produce for this team. It's a different style. He used to be very explosive. For the moment, that's not his game.
Yeah, he's the jack of all trades. The opportunity that you see, especially on third downs, he's very savvy, played a ton of football for South Alabama. Be alert for him flashing somewhere in the middle or getting open in zone, because that's what he does best at this moment.
Third down. Gio in the pocket, flushed, gets away from Dorian Smith, and nearly picked off by DeAndre Morris.
You see Gio getting flushed out of the pocket, tries to force a throw in a window that is just not there. Errant throw thrown behind the receiver, and again, he puts that dangerously in the hands of Morris. Morris doesn't come down with it. And that's one that Morris probably wishes he could have held on to, because that would have been a big turnover for this Georgia Southern defense.
That makes Gio so remarkable. He is ultra aggressive. It must be living right. Still just one interception, and this is an awful punt, but gets a great bounce and still rolling to the 35-yard line. So not necessarily the best looking punt off the foot of Alexei Polkinen. Still gets 43 yards. Ryan Applin, former Sun Belt Player of the Year, has his offense coming back out when we return. Good buddies going head-to-head on the left. Ryan Applin, offensive coordinator for the Eagles. And on the right, Will Wyndham, DC for the Jaguars. They hit it off as young graduate assistants at different programs, have stayed in touch through the years. There's been a lot of trash talking this week, Fossil.
That's what makes this game so special.
Jalen White, leading rusher for the Eagles with the carry. He picks up a few yards. Now, Wyndham was an interesting situation. He was on the staff here with Kane Womack at South Alabama, released at the end of the year, and it was Applin who actually helped him get a job at his alma mater at Arkansas State. Major Applewhite announced as a head coach, one of the first calls he makes to Wyndham to bring him back to Mobile as his DC. First shot at being a defensive coordinator. Second and 7, J.C. French, one pump fake, pressure, throwing on the run to the sideline, and complete to Derwin Burgess Jr., the man that had the go-ahead touchdown in that improbable comeback against Marshall a few weeks ago.
They thought the game was over with. In some way, somehow, Georgia Southern found life, and Burgess was a part of the revitalization of that offense in that game.
They'd rather live this way, though, playing with the lead and setting up third and short situations like this. Initially empty for French, and it remains that way with White in motion. Bullet pass is low. Second effort by Josh Dallas. His 13th catch on third down this season. Second most in the Sun Belt, and a first down pickup for Ryan Applin, who was a dude back in his day for Arkansas State. French, another pump fake. Here comes the backside pressure, and the comeback by Dalen Cobb, incomplete. 2013 right here in Mobile at Ladd Peebles Stadium in the GoDaddy.com Bowl. Wrap it up, an electric season, record-breaking career for him. Gets the MVP, beats Danica Patrick afterwards. 21-30, 213, and a passing touchdown, back-to-back Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Year. Brad Future, too, as a play caller. White. The ball is out. Jaguars have it. First turnover of the night. And Wesley Miller doesn't want to let that go. Akil Washington comes up with the strip with the right arm, just rips it out. Is any part of his body down there, Fonzie?
The helmet was on the ground. It appears before the ball came out, his helmet was on the ground. I'm sure replay will take a look at this because Jalen White, his helmet is touching the ground when Akil Washington reaches in to strip that ball out.
Don't see many plays where the first part of the body to hit the turf is the helmet. But the knee, the shin, elbows still up.
The ruling on the field of a fumble recovered by the defense is under video review.
See, the ball's high and tight. Akil Washington's making the strip there. Head is on the ground. We can't tell from that angle if he loses possession at that time. But his head was clearly on the ground before that ball was ripped out of his possession from the other angle that we saw.
I've not seen this situation before, honestly, where the football helmet hits the ground first. And whether that constitutes a player is down.
It's funny, we were speaking with the replay officials talking about oddities and things that we could expect moving forward. This was not on the bingo card of seeing the runner's helmet hit the ground first. You see a better look here, straight on as his head, it's like getting pow drove into the ground, which is obviously, hopefully he's okay, not shaken up, but.
And also just trying to figure out when the ball actually started to move and come out after that strip attempt from Akil Washington. Starting to become the vocal leader of this Jaguars defense.
Yeah, you see the look there. That ball seems to be moving out after the helmet touches the ground. And Washington's, he has his mind on the right thing. Look, it's so close. But that helmet appears to be on the ground when we see movement of the ball lose possession from Jalen White.
And this is really where Georgia Southern has struggled this season, holding on to the football. So good at it the beginning of the season, but they've been struggling as of late, and it is a ball-hawking South Alabama defense, top 25 in takeaways. This would be takeaway number 15 if the ruling on the field stands or is confirmed.
Key thing with the head being down, I do believe that serves as a body part. And in my opinion, I believe that allows Jalen White to maintain, and Georgia Southern maintain possession of the football, considering the ball had not lost his possession
so helmet
prior to the head hitting the ground.
Is part of the body of this situation. That would mean he is down.
After video review, the ruling is that the runner was down with possession at the 46 and a half. It'll be 3rd down and a half, Georgia Southern.
All right, so the helmet was down. He had possession, no turnover. So Clay Helton avoids the catastrophe early in this game there.
Never seen that. Helmet hitting the ground first. That's the first.
It will set up a 3rd and short for the Eagles. Gotta believe, too, this would be 4-down territory for Clay Helton. French under center, gets a push from O.J. Arnold. 1st down, Georgia Southern. Now 6 of 7 on the money down tonight.
And that's the difference maker there. That play was successful. You look at center and right guard, Strong, Carroll. Wembley does a great job as well, digging into the ground, really keeping their pads low, pushing through. J.C. French drives the legs and picks up an easy 1st down.
That was rush number 14 tonight for the Eagles. They've thrown it 16 times. A lot more balance with this team. French, first look wasn't there, but a fine job to adjust and scramble for 3.
This is what French is doing very well. When a play has broken down or the pass has not been there, he hasn't panicked. He's found a way to pick up positive yardage. Right there, 3 yards, 4 yards is exactly what you want to see from your quarterback.
French playing with an abundance of confidence. Drops forward and will set up a 3rd and medium. They trust him on the ground. And when it comes to limiting the takeaways, if you're watching the Eagles for the first time, there have been conservative passes, but this is the approach typically for Georgia Southern. A lot by the line of scrimmage.
The trade is methodical. They are very good at being efficient, staying in front of the chains, and then picking up 3rd and short, 3rd and median, and extending drives, 10, 12 play drives. That's what they do best.
This is play number 9. French batted down by Jordan Norman.
So RPO opportunity. You see the counter play. They have too many men in the box, and Jordan Norman almost comes away with an interception there, being able to read what J.C. French is trying to do.
Going for it now on 4th and 4. Helton promised this would be a bigger part of the game plan. J.C. French with time, clean pocket through the middle. What a catch! Go gadget arms, Josh Dallas. A huge 3rd down conversion tonight, and now an even bigger 4th down pickup.
As you see, he had 2 guys. Dalen Cobb underneath. Easy pickup, but Josh Dallas in that second window on the bigger deep end cut. J.C. French finds him. Another big 4th down pickup. Could this lead to points like it did on the first drive for the Eagles?
You need 4. Dallas just got you 16. Eagles cooking on offense. French wants to throw again. Right side, wide open, and he does it again. Dallas to the end zone. Eagles extending the lead. That's a different dude at quarterback, Fonzie.
Whenever he is threatened, he's shown up time and time again. As you see, he is very efficient whenever they're able to run the ball, use the play action to their advantage, has time to throw it in the pocket. He feels very confident stepping into his throw, and it's all because of what the old linemen are able to do to provide the pocket and space for him to play confidently.
Extra point is good. The Eagles have followed the game plan perfectly. They wanted the football. They wanted to establish confidence on offense and go for it on fourth down. 2 touchdown drives because of critical fourth down conversions. It's 14.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. And in part by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance.
We will see you tomorrow night.
Luis Gonzalez and David Freese, 2 South Alabama legends on the diamond, known for producing in the clutch. This is a clutch situation tonight for the Jaguars on the gridiron. They need to channel their inner Gonzo and Freeze and find a little magic, trailing Georgia Southern 14-3 in a game which is very close to being an elimination game in this topsy-turvy Sun Belt Conference. Opportunity for the return for the Jaguars. It's Bam! Braylon McReynolds! Bam! Running free to the 45. He's been limited this season with a shoulder injury. He is back and making an impact. 42 yards for Bam.
Bam making his presence felt. Whenever you need a spark, if offense hasn't been able to provide it yet, then you got to do it on the special team. Bam McReynolds does a great job staying on his feet, breaking a tackle, and that could be the catalyst to get the door wide open for Gio Lopez and the rest of the Jaguars offense.
And this is one of the most explosive offenses in college football. Only Alabama has more touchdown drives of 1 or 2 plays than Major Applewhite's club. And change the complexion in a hurry. On the ground here, and it is Bullock bowling his way to the 42-yard line before Latrell Bullard, all 340 pounds of him, staying in on that play.
Latrell Bullock does a great job of just driving his feet. He sheds 1 defender, 2 defender, 3 defender. Get off of me. Here I go, young man. Strap up.
The body count is building for the South Alabama running backs. We also saw Bullock absolutely truck Mark Stampley. He's got a few more victims now. 2nd down. Gio Lopez fires over the middle of the field and complete. That's the tight end, DJ Thomas Jones. He does it all, usually very effective in the run game.
Yeah, a little West Coast concept there, running the mesh. Tight end spots up right over the ball, picks up a valuable 1st down.
Jaguars going quick. It's Bullock right side, battling through to the 20-yard line and into the red zone for South Alabama before Davon Hicks makes a stop. What's different about this drive?
Well, everything is on the line. We just mentioned you go down 14-3. You got to have a spark. Bam McReynolds started the spark with the kickoff return. Now Kentrell Bullock, from one running back to the next, have provided a big boost for this offense.
It's time for Fluff. Bothwell, a freshman right here in the state of Alabama. Get his run. And tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. So we've got Fozzie and Fluff. Major Applewhite has coached 2 running backs with those names. Major was Fozzie's running backs coach at the University of Texas. Here's Fluff, and met with a thud. Tracy Hill, he's 190, but don't mind getting in front of the guy named Fluff because he was an 11-pound baby and there was a lot of fluff there.
It's a big fluff there, but I tell you one thing, somebody that's not afraid of fluff is Tracy Hill Jr. Usually cover guys are made to cover. Tracy Hill Jr. says, I'm made to hit.
All about that action. 2nd and 8. Gio Lopez, he's got some room and thrown down at the 5-yard line by Justin Myers. Gio Lopez nearly broke it.
Yeah, and you see the running backs having so much success. Well, don't forget about Gio Lopez. He'll make you pay as well.
High snap to Lopez. He gives to Fluff Bothwell. And Bothwell stood up after a short gain. Davon Gilmore there for the stop.
That tempo just keeps going. This is what South Alabama wants to do. As the game progresses, defense gets tired, and we'll see how critical that becomes with time of possession playing a factor as well.
Jaguars are not good in the red zone offensively, but Georgia Southern is horrendous by the numbers. Can they take advantage? Extra man was on the field, no flag. Now it comes in. Lopez is tracked down by Davon Gilmore, but an Eagles defender was not able to make it off the field before the snap.
Turned into a free play for the Jaguars, who I assume will accept this penalty to replay the down.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offside. Defense, number 98. The penalties decline. Illegal substitution, more than 11 players. Defense, the penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal line.
You can take a look as the defender is frozen. I mean, he's trying to run off the field. He crosses the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get off the field in time before the ball is snapped, and that's where the 2 infractions took place.
Second and goal. Bothwell. Touchdown. The 11-pound baby is now a big boy. Touchdown number 9.
That run was almost as good as the stash that was just displayed on TV right there. Reed Boz does a great job, right guard, pulls on the left side on the one-back power play, and then Fluff does the rest. Sometimes you got to BYOB, be your own blocker, force your way into the end zone.
Extra points up and good. Fluff Bothwell, country kid from here in Alabama. He's a true freshman, but making a statement. That's now 9 rushing touchdowns. No one in the Fun Belt with more than Fluff. Fuzzy, who's that real quick?
That's Southpaw and Miss Paul.
And that takes us to a little promo action. Sunday NFL Countdown as you covered for Week 9, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. And the Monday Night Countdown crew gets you set for the Bucs and Chiefs starting at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with a 2-hour show from Arrowhead Stadium, both on ESPN and the app. Did you know back in 2010, Southpaw won the Mascot National Championship?
I did not know that.
I don't know what goes into winning that title.
Well, if you dress up as Milk and Cookies, you probably got a leg up on the competition.
All I got to say is, where's the banner? Hang the banner for Southpaw. What are we doing? South Alabama finds the end zone. And a third catch called for, so Georgia Southern will have the ball 25-yard line. Some changes up top in the athletics department with the Eagles. Jared Benko has resigned and moved on to Auburn. He will now become the executive deputy director of athletics. Chris Davis has been promoted, former COO at Georgia Southern. He's set to take over as the AD. You asked Clay Helton about this, and he was expecting it because this is a job where people grow and develop and move on.
Yeah, and ultimately the vision is still the same with Chris Davis, and that's what got everybody at peace with the move.
Benko known for his prowess in fundraising, just like Myrick, his prowess in making those tackles. One of the best in the Sun Belt.
He has a knack for the ball. It's no wonder why he has so many tackles for this defense and leading tackler. He just knows where the play is happening a lot of the times before it even unfolds. Right place, right time for him right there.
Defense designed to allow those linebackers to roam and make the stops. RPMs, some momentum on that. Josh Dallas now, his third catch and maybe the last 4 or 5 snaps for the Eagles. That's an 8-yard pickup. had the critical fourth down conversion, and then very next play, the touchdown on the last drive for Georgia Southern. We've seen him have some monster games this year.
They love to utilize him. It's funny, he's going off the field, but he's one of the best third down targets for this offense. Be interesting to see who they go to in this scenario with it being third down here.
This may just be showing off the muscle with O.J. Arnold, or maybe J.C. French. Empty for him. 3rd and 2. French will throw. He is looking at Arnold, feels the pressure, and it's going to be right there at the line of scrimmage. Do you think about this? You've had success on 4th down. You are a little backed up. And the answer is no. We're punting this thing away.
I think with 2 minutes, 50 seconds or so on the clock, you want to try to flip the field position as much as possible and force South Alabama to go the long way on a 2-minute drive right before half.
Belton looking up at us, probably saying, hey, you're going to be aggressive, but not crazy. Come on, guys. It's a 4th and 1 punt situation for Alex Smith. A couple of steps and then lets it fly. Sideways wobbler, the catch made in traffic by Jamal Pritchett. Wild day once again in the Sun Belt. It really impacts the race in the West and the East. Goes back to Tuesday with Louisiana holding on in a battle against Texas State. App State with the upset against Old Dominion. That certainly helps when it comes to the picture for Georgia Southern in the East. Marshall takes down ULM, and Troy finally breaking through to get their first win in conference play. That ODU loss, however, means if Georgia Southern wins, they're the outright leader in the East because they have the head-to-head against Marshall.
They control their own destiny.
Gio Lopez throwing on the run. It's Pritchett, turns it up, and forced out at the 35-yard line. This is an eternity for this offense engineered by Rob Ezell, offensive coordinator. Essentially have 4 timeouts to work with. The 3 you're allocated, and then the 2-minute timeout that is coming up. Lopez throwing on the slant into open territory. Jeremiah Webb, they can hurt you in a hurry. Down to the 40. And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout. 26-yard pickup, and South Alabama coming to life, trying to take the lead going into the half. Tomorrow is the final day of the NWSL regular season, and we have the only games on the schedule, both with playoff implications. Chicago Red Stars hosts the Kansas City Current at 3 Eastern, 2 Central on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Then the San Diego Wave hosts Racing Louisville on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Gio Lopez showing the ability to create on the run off script. That's why they love him here in Mobile, and that's why they love Kentrell Bullock. This dude is not down until that whistle blows, and sometimes, even when that happens, we're not sure he's out of the play.
They got to continue to move the ball effectively, use clock to their advantage, moving fast, but not in a hurry.
Lopez back it up, finding Pritchett. Pritchett with the block by Thomas Jones. And an explosive play for one of the best to do it. The fearless Jamal Pritchett is making himself a legend with this USA program.
Misdirection has been key. That's the play they ran, first play coming out on this drive. They have success on it again here, coming out of the 2-minute timeout.
Bullock, right side. Davon Hicks is there for the stop. And it's a TFL, the first full tackle for loss for Hicks this season. Junior out of Fort Pierce, Florida. And South Alabama can be patient here. I want to take as much time off this clock as possible. Well, still finding the end zone. Here comes pressure. Lopez steps out of it, breaks another tackle. Big Nasty helping him move forward. And Aiden Jackson makes the stop, but Kenton Gerardo was like, oh, it's my quarterback. Let's keep rolling.
Get a little assist. You running a blitz in the way that Georgia Southern does. You've got to find a way to keep contained. Well, Dorito says, I got your help. Don't worry, Gio Lopez. Let's go pick up some more yardage.
3rd and 5, and the final timeout here used by Clay Helton and Georgia Southern. You know, Gio Lopez has been working through a turf toe injury. He suffered that in the season opening performance against North Texas, where he set a school record for total offense. It kept him out of the next game at Ohio. If he's playing, they probably win that game. But it's been a long, steady recovering process. Still not a full go throughout the course of the week in practice, but he is getting more healthy to do plays like that.
Yeah, the thing that's been critical is his utilization as a dual threat guy. He's more dynamic and explosive in the run game, but because the turf toe has limited his action, they got to be careful of making sure they don't overdo it and cause further injury and allow him to miss more time than he's already missed this season.
And his playing style, when he scrambles, it's not always run away, it's run through you.
Yes. He has the same mentality that the running backs have.
Yeah, not the biggest dude, but electric, and he is not afraid of contact. 3rd and 5. Lopez, screen to Pritchett. Pritchett, and it was just a number disadvantage there for South Alabama. This will depend on the spot, very close, and it is going to be 4th down. So 10 seconds left.
This is their first charge timeout. Will the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 12 seconds. 12 seconds on the game clock, please.
So Major Applewhite calls the timeout. Still got a couple left, and it was ruled on field short. So 4th down. What do you think the thought process here is for Coach Applewhite?
If it's me, take the points, field goal opportunity.
Boring.
Go into halftime, regroup. You get the ball back coming out in the second half. That's your opportunity to go move and put more points up, take the lead then. But on 4th down, with 12 seconds left, it's only so many plays. You could probably pick it up, but you want to be careful. You do have a timeout now. You got another timeout, but you want to be careful with how you navigate the clock.
Well, from your playing days with Coach Applewhite, as your running backs coach, you know his mentality. And here we go. The field goal unit is on the field. This is Lath Margin under the weather, but nailed his first. This now from 30 yards out to make it a 1-point game. Oh, Maurice Strong was, Malachi Preciado was on and off quickly, and now here comes Asher Hale. He's on the field, comes off, does not make it off. He's still moving regardless, and a flag is down.
False start. Offense. Not all 11 players were set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So Preciado was the first man out, back to the sideline. Asher Hale came out. He wasn't able to make it back on the field in time. Am I late?
This is the most confusing.
Am I supposed to be here? You know, sometimes you get that invite, but you don't know if you're really wanted at the get-together.
Coming out of a timeout, though, you cannot have that happen. That needs to be sorted out during the timeout.
35 now for Lath Margin. And Lath showing that leg is good. Makes it a 1-point lead for Georgia Southern. Now in hindsight, if you're South Alabama, do you want to approach that differently with the timeouts, getting off more plays, being more aggressive to find the end zone?
I think ultimately they wanted 6 points on the board, So being more aggressive, like I said, moving fast without a hurry probably would have meant more. But picking up the first down would have been critical. Jamal Pritchard short just by 1 yard. That's the difference in South Alabama's mentality, trying to get a first down and a touchdown.
Playing the long game, understandable. Coming up at half, it's Trevor Matich and Kevin Connors bringing you a thriller with Ohio State and Penn State. Nittany Lions still need to figure out how to score points in the biggest games. Florida, Georgia, probably closer than the final score dictates. And first half highlights of what is shaping up as a thriller here in Mobile, Alabama. Sun Belt action with both these teams right in the thick of the race in the West and the East. But with it being so tight, neither one of these teams can afford a loss here tonight. Something has to give. The squib, the final 7 seconds. And now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Looking at the top 10, Oregon handled Michigan. Georgia with that win against Florida. And you see a lot of the big dogs idle. The big one going on right now, Texas A&M at South Carolina, trailing the Gamecocks. And with that knee, we will go to the break. Georgia Southern wanted to get the offense going. They do. They had the early lead, but Major Applewhite and South Alabama striking back. That late field goal, pulling within one, and as close to a must-win game as you will find for these teams at the very beginning of November. Gio Lopez, 11 of 14, 102 yards, 85 rushing yards at 6 yards per carry for South Alabama. Now joined by the Jags head coach, Major Applewhite. Coach, how do you like the way your team responded?
Well, that was a good drive to respond on right there. Obviously we would have liked to have the opportunity to go for points, but, in terms of just getting through the penalties that we've had, continuing to move the ball, we're just going to get the ball to start the second half. We just need to have a consistent drive stay out of our way.
Coach, what are you looking forward to seeing in the second half?
Well, they've stayed on track offensively. They've gotten a lot of 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s. They've been able to manipulate the clock. So we've got to get them in some longer 3rd downs, and we've got to get them off the field and we get them in 3rd and 1.
Major, thank you so much.
Thank you.
14-13, Georgia Southern leads the home team right here in Mobile, Alabama. It's the Fun Belt. It's going to be a wild second half. We can guarantee it. Until then, after these messages, it's KC and Matich in studio.
Big game.
Lopez batted down, pressure in his face, and welcome back Chance Gamble. First game back since breaking a finger. He's got that club after having surgery. First play back at practice this week, it was that exact play. Broke up a pass with the club. His team went crazy.
It doesn't matter what is on his hand. Chance Gamble loves to play football. Whenever he gets an opportunity, his presence is felt.
3rd and 4 for Gio. He has the block from Bullock. And Gio Lopez gets it to about a 29-yard line. It's going to be a yard short of the first down. The big fella, Latrell Bullard and Isaac Walker, there to make the stop. 4th and 1, go for it territory here. Lopez and Bullock together, Pritchett in motion. Lopez throwing the perfect touch. Bullock, first down, looking for more, and inside the 5-yard line. Gio Lopez with the 27-yard magic touch to Kentrell Bullock.
Yeah, the misdirection, sliding underneath. Kentrell Bullock finds an opening. Big explosive gain, huge pickup on 4th down.
Going fast, Bullock falling forward to the 1-yard line. There are very few teams better at opening up the second half than South Alabama. They've got 6 scoring drives and 8 opportunities this season, 5 of them touchdowns for Major Applewhite.
We've seen Georgia Southern convert on their fourth downs and turn those conversions into touchdowns. Can South Alabama do the same here? Opening drive of the second half.
Flag down.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Down.
That's on the right tackle, Malachi Carney.
You see, he flinches as the motion occurs. He moves just that little bit, and that's enough to catch the attention of the officials. Pushes him back 5 yards, and that's not the direction South Alabama wants to go inside of the 10.
Lopez throwing on the run, so comfortable there. And DJ Thomas Jones inside the 1. Flag is down from the far side of the play.
We'll see. It appears to be on South Alabama.
Pass interference. 15-yard penalty, the previous spot. Second down.
Mike broke up, but that is against the 5th-year senior Devin Voisin, offensive PI.
You take a look at the top of your screen. He's blocking before the pass is thrown. And with the ball being thrown past the line of scrimmage, Devin Voisin is not allowed to block in that moment, which resulted in the offensive pass interference and the 15-yard penalty.
Well, this changes everything. We're looking at a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Now making it that much more difficult with a 2nd and 21 coming up.
Ultimately, for Major Applewhite and this South Alabama offense, they've experienced those explosive plays. They're hoping that continues to result into positive yardage, but ultimately moving backwards and having the miscues is what can take points off of the board.
So initially, replay was going to check and see if this was a touchdown for DJ Thomas Jones, but that has been negated by the offensive PI. Also could be checking to see if this ball, the pass, made it past the line of
The
scrimmage.
ruling on the field of the catch being caught beyond the line of scrimmage has been confirmed. The OPI will be enforced still. 2nd down.
And so that's what they were checking on to make sure that that pass from Lopez was beyond the line of scrimmage. Now 6 penalties for 39 yards against South Alabama. How does this change your approach here?
Well, now you're looking at 2nd and goal from the 22-yard line. It makes it very difficult because ultimately your mindset was to be able to just punch it in, be physical, or use misdirection. Now you got to get a big chunk play, and whether that's your running back or quarterback being that spark, it's harder in the red zone whenever everything's a little bit tighter.
Algio Lopez secured the snap with one hand. Another flag is down in the backfield as Lopez took it to the 16-yard line, and it's going to be a hold.
Now you're going to see a hold by Kenton Jarrito.
During the run. Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
You see left guard there, he's pulling around, just grabs Gilmore right around the shoulder, which allows Gio Lopez to get the edge and get positive yardage. And again, the South Alabama offense is moving in the wrong direction.
Field goal still gives you the lead, so you can play this a little more conservative and set yourself up for 3. And that is Kentrell Bullock, his 11th carry of the night. He's had the bulk of the carries, with Lopez and Bothwell with 4 each. And that will bring us to a 3rd and goal at the 25-yard line. You don't see a lot of these situations, Fozzie Whitaker.
Yeah, but if you talking about a play that can earn 25 yards, do you want to be aggressive here with the team that's aggressive but smart with the football, or just get positive yardage and make the field goal attempt a lot closer?
Lopez, is it caught? It was a low throw. And yes, caught by Jamal Pritchett at the 6-yard line. Makes the field goal a whole lot easier, and with no hesitation, field goal unit coming out.
Yeah, what a catch right there. The ball bobbles, but Jamal Pritchett has the wherewithal and the intensity to keep hold on it and track it all the way through. It's a phenomenal catch right there by Jamal Pritchett.
24 yards for Laith Marjan, a junior out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And Marjan is nails. However, 1st and goal from the 1. Never want to be backed up to the 30-yard line. Still do get points, and South Alabama leads for the first time tonight. Fozzie Whitaker loves nature to the point, got off a flight here in Mobile, went straight to Arlington Park, and you saw who?
I saw Chubbs, the snag-a-tooth alligator himself.
Look at that tooth, man. Need to get a telestration on the snaggle he's got going there.
You should go get a close-up.
I got his head. How does that compare? You went solo that time, and how does that compare to our free climbing adventure in South Dakota last week?
It wasn't free climbing, but it was exhilarating because I could have ended up looking like Chubbs off of Happy Gilmore.
Oh, you thought he was going to get you now, huh?
Very close.
Right. Another short kick to the 15. Chance for Buchanan. Buchanan brought down at the 31-yard line. Quarterbacks, J.C. French feeling some pressure with Dexter Williams breathing down his neck. It's worked. He's responded. Gio Lopez, he knows it's his show, and he's always comfortable. French 16 of 20. Gio Lopez 15 of 19. They're both moving the football through the air and on the ground. Turnover-free football as well.
They've both been spectacular. I think being able to keep the chains moving is the name of the game. J.C. French has done that better tonight overall.
Cobb in motion. And it's to the ground. Jalen White, some shakes, some bakes to the 37-yard line. What do you think of throwing it out there publicly and in private to his quarterbacks on the reality of the situation? If we struggle, we're going to make a change.
I think you light that fire. We know all of these guys are ultimate competitors, but whenever you say what you say publicly, that ignites something even deeper within your loins, and J.C. French has showed up.
French to throw his longest shot of the night, and Burgess goes down, and it was an awkward fall. He's going to head straight to the sideline. That is the leading receiver, one of the greatest to ever do it for Georgia Southern. Excuse me, LV Bunkley Shelton wearing 0 this week. My apologies. He goes down on the turf. 3rd and 5 now. White. And the Jaguars defense is there with the stuff. Nowhere to go. Akil Washington with the stop.
Surprised they didn't give J.C. French an opportunity to kind of create. That's where he's been best in the first half. Let him use his legs, create out of something. They played a little safe, more safe than I thought they would on that 3rd down attempt.
So a 3-and-out forced by the Jaguars defense. Pritchett with a fair catch at the 20 with an Eagles defender in his face. So we got Jaguars We've got Eagles. We've got Gators. Chubs. The old Snaggletooth himself holding it down at Arlington Park. Look out for him. The All-State Playoff Predictor brings you the college football playoff bracket according to the AP poll coming into this week. It's going to change, Fozzie, because Penn State with the loss at home against Ohio State. You see that 11 seed, Clemson, Iowa State. Iowa State has already lost. Clemson is losing to Louisville, and Texas A&M is in a battle with South Carolina. Leads to this. On Tuesday, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the first college football playoff rankings. Reese and the guys will break them down, the coaches' reactions, as well as an interview with the committee chairman, Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director. They'll also project their 12-team field. It is that time of year. We have hit November. Jamal Pritchett, as slippery as they come at the wide receiver spot. Chunk yardage on first down. Give them 13. Go to ESPN.com, All-State Playoff Predictor for more. Lopez, hit as he throws to Webb, nearly picked off by Chance Campbell. Cast and all. Lopez lost his lid, slow to get up. There's a flag down, and imagine this is a roughing call.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 93. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
It's against Troy Pikes.
May remain in the game. His helmet was removed as a direct result of the foul.
Oh, yeah. There's the initial contact to the head neck area, and then fighting with his face mask and his helmet after the throw was made.
Yeah, and Gio Lopez stood in the pocket to try to deliver a pass. He paid the price for it. Ultimately, they pick up a first down with the penalty.
He will end his career as a household name.
Yes.
Everyone will know who Gio Lopez is. Here's Fluff, and it's Bothwell. Tough yardage to pick up 2 on first down. And what a find for Major Applewhite, the South Alabama program. I had them last year against Troy, and they were already pumping up Gio Lopez. And with an injury last season at the quarterback spot, there was some thought, some talk, do we burn Lopez's red shirt and write him out for the rest of the year?
He's proven to deliver, and deliver he has proven. He does it at a high level.
More pressure up the middle. Lopez gets away from it and complete. Finding the tight end, Rod Gibbs. First catch of the season for number 19.
Under pressure, escapes the pocket, keeps his composure, stays calm, and then fires a laser. That's what you want to see from your quarterback, picking up positive yardage and now making it 3rd and medium for a manageable play call.
You really can't make him uncomfortable, because even when you flush him from the pocket, that's where statistically he is at his best. 3rd and 4, Pritchett, fake toss. Lopez to the middle of the field. Voisin down at the 30-yard line. Heady play by the veteran, Devin Voisin.
And again, you see the play action, misdirection. You got guys flying across the field in every which way. And then what makes it worse is Gio Lopez carves you up like a pumpkin.
17 yards on 3rd down. Pritchett now has a block from Voisin. And Pritchett with the acceleration. There's 7 or so yards. Dorian Smith brought him down. It's something he learned from Mack Brown. He would remind him, Mays, just make sure we're getting the ball to our playmakers. Applewhite told us as you get older, you realize if you're not intentional getting to the ball to the right guys, it ends up in the hands of the players it shouldn't go to. Pritchett is the playmaker they want to feed. Lopez on the slant, incomplete, looking for Webb. Deliberate about finding playmakers. What does that mean?
Well, ultimately, you got to create the plays that best suits your playmakers' abilities. These are one of the things that they've had success on, the RPO option with the glance route, which is that short post that Jeremiah Webb has already had some really good gains on, explosive plays. Right there, the timing just was a tad off, but expect them to come back to that later in the game because of the success they've already had early in the game.
Boyson is not in, who had the third down conversion last time. Lopez wants it. Lopez has it. Get off me. Chance Gamble. He may be small, but he is mighty.
And you see Gio Lopez, all the options are taken. Well, guess what? He has another option. It's smart going against Chance Gamble, especially using that inside shoulder because Gamble has that cast on the hand, can't wrap up.
These Jaguars are bullies. Some movement and a flag down before that Bothwell carry. It is going to be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Fozzie back to the story of South Alabama's first drive in the second half. Into the red zone, penalties moving them out of the red zone.
Yeah, the penalties and the miscues, those are mental things that need to be taken care of. The pre-snap penalties. You had the false start by Carney on the first drive. Now the false start by Webb on this second drive. Whenever they get in the red zone, this is the critical area that South Alabama has to be more intentional of staying focused.
Bothwell slipping through 2 tackles. Fluff Bothwell will not be denied. Fozzie, we tried to warn America. These Jaguars have brutal physicality on offense. One of the best teams in America in breaking tackles.
And you know exactly as well as I do what happens when you get a running back like Fluff Bothwell in space. He makes you pay in a major way. Remember, BYOB, be your own blocker. He does that to the best of the ability. Another rushing touchdown for South Alabama.
Fozzie on Fluff, only on ESPN. Welcome back to College Football Primetime, presented by Dr. Pepper. One of the reasons Fluff Bothwell was under-recruited out of high school, only ran in the 4.7, 4.8 range and the 40-yard dash. But the way Major Applewhite put it, there are people that run fast and people that play fast. Fluff Bothwell is in the latter category and picking up where he left off last week in a brutal performance in that one against ULM. 70 carries, 119. He is a force to be reckoned with. And this will be Eagles football at the 25. Bring it down, Fozzie.
Well, Georgia Southern has the great play call. They are calling a run-stopping blitz with Chance Gamble. The issue is Chance Gamble has a club on his hand. He can't wrap up. Davon Hicks is another tackler that had an opportunity to make a play on Fluff Bothwell. He runs right through that, and then the rest is history. 4.7, 4.8, it doesn't matter. You're too late. He gets to the end zone. Touchdown for South Alabama.
The 20th carry for the Jaguars of at least 20 yards this season. That is top 10 in the nation. Cobb coming back up the middle and bulldozing over a Jaguars defender before Maurice Strong can bring him down. That's the type of drive starter you need. 18 yards here for the Eagles. Suddenly trailing 20 unanswered by South Alabama. Tyler Fromm, the tight end, in motion. The fake to the running back to him. This worked before, and it works again. O.J. Arnold tiptoeing to the 50-yard line, 7-yard pickup. What's the significance of this drive for Ryan Applin and his offense?
Yeah, those two plays are indicative of what made Georgia Southern so successful. Continue to move the ball positively and staying efficient on the drive.
Arnold slips through one tackle, and the Jaguars rally to the football, and it will set up a 3rd down where the Eagles were so good in the first half. And this is that hurdle. If they get past the initial 3rd down, they're tough to stop. French with Tom, short dump, and Arnold will be stopped short. Darius McKenzie, the Canadian, is there with Ed Smith, the 4th. They can wrap up north of the border as well, Fozzie.
Darius McKenzie does a great job staying home, dropping to his proper area in the zone, and then reacting when J.C. French escapes the pocket and dumps it down, and then makes a very physical tackle.
4th and 2. French will throw, tries to scramble, turn over on downs. Tyler Thomas, Darius McKenzie there for the stuff. And the first stop of the night on 4th down.
Yeah, J.C. French gets a little happy feet in the pocket, brings his eyes down. If he keeps them up, he has Dalen Cobb for a 5-yard gain, which would have proved to be a 1st down. But because the happy feet in the pocket, drops his eyes, and then South Alabama gets there. Huge, huge stop for South Alabama in their first 4th down stop.
Let's see if the Jaguars take one of those trademark shots. One of the best quick strike offenses in the game. All the momentum on their side inside Hancock Whitney Stadium. Pritchett, huge block right side to the 35, still rolling to the 30.
They've used this play quite often, and they faked the pitch several times. Now they give it to their playmaker, Jamal Pritchett. You talking about being intentional, getting the playmakers the ball. That's the exact example that Major Applewhite was talking about, making sure number 2 gets the rock.
Insane with the run after the catch. The words from his coaching staff, too high for Jamal Pritchett. It's a pretty simple approach in terms of where the football goes for South Alabama. They know and do a great job of feeding the best players. It's really Voisin in the pass game, the sweep game, and Bullock, Bothwell, Lopez on the ground. Van McReynolds checks in, motions out. Lopez, the block from DJ Thomas-Jones. That takes Gio Lopez down to the 15, but Thomas-Jones is hurt after setting that up.
And what a physical block right there. Gets on the inside of Davon Gilmore, creates separation, and the reason why this offense works is because Gio Lopez is the X factor that you must account for at all times.
Thomas-Jones steps off the field. Sprung that run with the block. Bullock's turn. Some moves. Cannot break free. So previous 2 red zone trips, 4 combined penalties. Can the Jaguars play clean inside the 20 here?
It's going to be the ultimate goal. We have an injury timeout. It's an opportunity for South Alabama to think about what play call they want to utilize.
So Troy Pikes is the injured Georgia Southern player. This is a Georgia Southern defense playing without the Sun Belt's leading tackler And Marquez Watson-Trent was a late scratch with an illness. That loss cannot be overlooked for this defense.
Yeah, and this is the team that you're going up against that runs it as well as anybody and does it the best in the conference. You get back Justin Rhodes, who's one of their impact dynamic interior defensive linemen. But if you lose Pikes for an extended period of time, the depth continues to thin out, and something that you got to be alert for, especially in the fourth quarter, with how much South Alabama likes to run the ball.
South Alabama can find a win here. It would set up a huge game after their bye against Louisiana, potentially the game of the year in the Sun Belt. First things first, Lopez with the carry, cuts back up the middle, and is wrapped up by Justin Myers. Chance Campbell was also there. Third down. What makes Gio Lopez so difficult to stop for a defense?
Well, number one, he stays composed in the pocket, and then whenever he does get flushed out, he always has his eyes looking downfield, and that's whenever he becomes even more dangerous. Accuracy is still there, but then the dynamic dual threat ability also is an option, as it may be here on third down.
Lopez whips it. Ball is out. Voisin lost it. But Jamal Pritchett finds it. Look what I have. Touchdown, Jamal Pritchett.
The ball was fumbled short of the goal line, recovered by the offense in the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Just like you draw him up, Fozzie.
Yeah, as you see, it's a perfect opportunity for Voisin to be able to pick up the first down. And hard work pays off, but sometimes it pays off just to be lucky. And Jamal Pritchett was lucky in that moment, being at the right place at the right time, picking up a touchdown for the Jaguars.
But is it luck or being relentless? Because that's the way Jamal Pritchett plays the game, the way it should be played.
Yeah, he does not stop. And he always finds the ball, as the ball found him in that moment.
Extra point is good, and it's now 27 unanswered for South Alabama. How do you explain it?
You take another look here. Third down, it's a lot of cushion on Devin Voisin. He does a great job of getting past the sticks. And then, like I said, maybe it's Devin Voisin who's the lucky one, being able to have Jamal Pritchett as a teammate, who ends up with 6 points for the Jaguars. Right place, right time in the end zone.
Almost a little chest pass there.
Yeah. And this is really indicative to what we saw from South Alabama a week ago against Louisiana Monroe. ULM takes the lead early, and then South Alabama, after halftime, puts their foot on the gas. And this is what we're seeing, especially in the third quarter, where South Alabama flips that switch and really takes it and pushes it to another gear.
It's the best football that we've seen South Alabama play all year. And it goes back to the heartbreak against Arkansas State. They took the lead with under 2 minutes left, only to lose that game, as it is a short kick with an opportunity from Evan Lester. So lost that game against Arkansas State. In the last two games, they have really picked it up. They were trailing last week against ULM and then pitched a shutout in the third quarter. 355 rushing yards in that game as well. A school record against the D1 team. And tonight, a 17-0 edge here in the third quarter.
That's winning football, where you can flip the game on top of its head in the third quarter in the way they have.
Eagles need a response, and the Jaguars defense refuse to let that happen. Now, so much on the line for Georgia Southern in this game. Never again, the mantra from Clay Helton. After they were right in the thick of the Sun Belt race, only to lose 5 straight to end last season. They wear wristbands that say never again. A constant reminder as we have hit the end of the third quarter. It is a Jaguars onslaught. All USA here in Mobile, Alabama. Fourth quarter coming up, and a gotta-have-it game in the Sun Belt Conference. New tradition here in Mobile. It's time to hit that robot, Fozzie Whitaker style. I know your daughter's a dancer, and we can obviously see where she gets the moves. My goodness, Fozzie.
What happens when the band plays during intermission, and your boy is just feeling it.
Cannot help it. Hey, it's a great scene here. And major props for the South Alabama band as well. They brought it. J.C. French has a man downfield. The response, Josh Dallas, give him another. When you need a big play, number 19 delivering tonight for Georgia Southern. Ain't done yet.
And Josh Dallas is so sneaky. He had the second touchdown of the game. Does an excellent job stemming the route, going right into the safety, making the safety think he's running a crossing route, then goes vertical, blows right by him, and then J.C. French on the money as he's been all night. That's a great way to respond.
Going
as
for
they
two.
for two.
Now to make it a one-score game. Nice snap. J.C. French stopped. Jordan Norman got him.
It's a big stop there. Got a little play action looking to the left for the wide receiver screen. J.C. French says, I'm going to take it myself. Just not enough to be able to get past Jordan Norman, who makes a big stop on that two-point attempt.
Well, Fozzie, this is a play Georgia Southern desperately needed in many ways. Their season is on the line here in Mobile, and Josh Dallas delivers.
Yeah, you see Josh Dallas lined up at the bottom of your screen in the slot, second receiver in. He stems the route thinking he's about to run across. Wesley Miller plays flat-footed, and then Josh Dallas does a great job of getting vertical runs right past him. J.C. French throws a phenomenal ball. You couldn't place it any better. And the results are, proof is in the pudding. Touchdown.
If there was any positive in the loss to Old Dominion, they started gaining confidence with their ability to hit the deep shot. Dallas had a 59-yarder. Cobb had a 55-yarder. First time in program history in the FBS era where they had multiple touchdowns of at least 50. That one was from 45. Nick Reynolds, hurdle, flag is down. But Fozzie, all I know, this conference is must-see TV, and it's going to be Georgia Southern football. Lester comes up with it. Now, there is a flag down before the recovery. Nick Reynolds is held up, and it's ripped
ruling on the field
out.
is the ball was fumbled, recovered by the kicking team. During the return, holding return team, the penalty will be declined. It's Georgia Southern's ball, first down.
That's a huge play. Georgia Southern comes up big on the special teams. We saw Bam McReynolds make a play in the first half to spark an offensive onslaught. He tries to do the same, gets stood up, and then
Terrence Gibbs,
the
running back, is the man that strips it out. And things change quickly here in the Fun Belt. 27 unanswered by South Alabama. And now Georgia Southern has taken the momentum. We're going to get a lot of those looks from Major Applewhite and Clay Helton here in the final 14 minutes, 44 seconds. And we do have a stoppage. Not entirely sure what they are waiting on, but they are holding the snap and just now giving the all clear, ready to play. French trying to cash in. Ball spotted at the 21. Dallas, the go-to man in motion. There'll be a blocker here for Jalen White. Second effort. Dallas trying to get a block to the 10. White fighting inside the 5. Injuries have slowed him down. Clay Helton says when he's healthy, he's a beast, on display with 19 yards.
Yeah, what a great individual effort there. His initial read takes him inside. He bounces back and then does a great job of just finding room and picking up a big first down.
Eagles, one of the best in the red zone in football, and that is why Jalen White prancing in for another touchdown. Georgia Southern rolling now.
Again, we've seen a theme running on that right side of the offensive line. Bryson Broadway, 6'5", 295 pounds, right tackle, just crushes everything inside, pins him down. And then Jalen White prances into the end zone.
We have ourselves a ball game because the Eagles had taken 4 snaps in the fourth quarter and then got 2 touchdowns. After that first Dallas touchdown, Terrence Gibbs rips it away, gives it back to his offense. Clay Helton says, keep fighting on, just like Irk Russell back in the day. And Jalen White caps it with a touchdown. 3-point game in Mobile. Major Applewhite in South Alabama absolutely dominated the third quarter. However, the fourth quarter is just underway, 50 seconds in. I don't know how in 50 seconds you can say it's all one team, but it's all Georgia Southern through the first 50 seconds of the fourth quarter. Sunbelt football, Loa Galindo here with Fozzie Whitaker. Both these teams cannot afford a loss to stay in their division races in the Sun Belt Conference. Flag is down after a South Alabama player loses his helmet at the end of that. And that was Ricky Hyatt Jr.
After the play was over, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 20. 15-yard penalty from the awarded fair catch spot, which is the 25-yard line. First down. Number 3 for South Alabama may remain in the game. His helmet was removed as a direct result of the foul.
Well, how do you approach this? Gibbs is the guy that got you the forced fumble. Comes back with a blunder here. Bottom right part of your screen. Whoa. Did it almost look like there was a punch thrown?
I don't think there was a punch, but he was definitely trying to get the blocker off of him. But that's just a silly penalty that you cannot have on a touchback. The play is already dead. You can't have that happen.
When you have seized control of this game for the moment. Short field now for South Alabama. And we're going the other way. Flag against the Jaguars, false start.
Again, this is on Carney, the right tackle. See flinches before the ball is
start.
snapped.
Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. First down.
There were 2 guys that flinched, Jerido and Carney. They could have called it on either one of them. But both of those individuals moved, pushing South Alabama back 5 yards.
First and 15. Bullock with the carry. Picks up a couple. Justin Rhodes there in his return to action from an ankle issue, is able to make the stop. How does South Alabama respond after only their 5th turnover on the season? Get it to this man, Jamal Pritchett. The points from the Eagles on the last drive, the first points off turnovers allowed all season by South Alabama. The only team in football that had not allowed a point off turnovers coming into this week.
They've taken care of the football until that kickoff return and paid dividend for Georgia Southern.
3rd and long. Lopez is just going to spike this one as there was nothing there.
Number 5 was in the area.
But he did have a man in the area, Kentrell Bullock. So no grounding call.
Yeah, trying to set up the running back screen. Georgia Southern does a great job of getting pressure as the linemen release and then getting in the throwing lane of Gio Lopez to force the incompletion there. And now the 4th down punt.
The Finnish punter, Alexei Polkinen, is on. Josh Dallas back to receive. He's had 2 enormous plays. And we'll just call for the fair catch here. South Alabama was gifted great field position. An immediate penalty set them back, and a 3-and-out ensued.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. And in part by McDonald's.
You know, Georgia Southern alum Luke Bryan had 6 #1 singles from one album. You know the name of that album? Crash My Party. Exactly what his Eagles are trying to do here in Mobile tonight. See what I did there? Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, you're going to be in Kansas City for our Week 9 Monday Night Football matchup. Patrick Mahomes and the undefeated Chiefs trying to stay that way against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks at Arrowhead, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes. Crash this party. What Clay Helton and Georgia Southern trying to do here on the gridiron. To the ground, Jalen White will take it to the 31-yard line, and Jalen White quietly put together a productive night. 5-yard pickup there. Young man that battled an ankle injury in camp. Really wasn't right until the win against Georgia State, where he went off and suffered a turf toe injury that slowed him down a little bit. But has now got 100 yards rushing in 2 of the last 4 games. J.C. French has been in control. Dumps it to White, spinning off 1 tackle. 3 more Jaguars, however, are there to make the stop, led by Courtney McBride. 3rd down coming up. Eagles were red hot in the first half on 3rd down. Slow down here in the second. 6 of 12 of the night. Receiver at the top of the formation, Josh Dallas. He's the man that has produced the biggest catches on 3rd down. French looking that way, instead to Arnold. Arnold slips through right at the marker. 4th down. Blaine Myrick makes the stop just shy of the sticks. Coach, the player communication shuts off now with 15 seconds remaining on the play clock.
Probably expect a timeout happening here. So they want to think about what play they want to run on 4th down.
Georgia Southern was able to convert twice on 4th down in the first half. Both those conversions led to touchdowns. They got stuffed the last time they went for it by the Jaguars, which was an early momentum changer. And now for our Fansville College Football Update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Any of these more surprising than the next?
I think Iowa State falling to Texas Tech. Texas Tech has had an explosive offense in the Big 12, and they upset number 11 undefeated Iowa State. I think that's a big one, especially in the race of the Big 12.
Quietly, Joey McGuire, Texas Tech, starting to play better
Yes.
football. Did not look the part early in the season. By the way, while we're taking the Fansville update, they are reviewing the spot. It was ruled that O.J. Arnold was shy of the line to gain. Right at the 36. So also that timeout for Clay Helton, strategic to give the officials more time to think about this review.
You see, it's very close. Currently, the ball is spotted right at the 35-yard line. From that angle, you can't really see where the ball is. So it's hard to tell that can overturn the call.
Because not only can you not see the football, you cannot see
when he's down.
If he is down. This angle, still, we cannot see the football. But from where he lands, it looks like he is closer to that first down marker. Now, right there, the left elbow is down.
Then pinpointing where the ball is in that moment.
Not enough.
Makes it difficult. I do believe he's past the 35-yard line.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands. It's 4th down. Georgia Southern will not be charged a timeout. The replay process was initiated by the replay official prior to the coach's challenge request. They still have all 3 timeouts.
So had to get to the 36, and it will stay just shy of that. So Helton using a challenge on that play. Loses a timeout. Jalen White, tailback here on 4th down. French, right side, second push.
This is close.
Did the second push get him across? Initially, it was not good enough. Second push does. First down when you absolutely had to have it for Clay Helton.
And you see there, Maurice Strong Jr. on the defensive side of the ball originally stuffs it, but that second effort and push by Jalen White.
And now, here are the dangers of running your quarterback in that situation. J.C. French is down. Does look like perhaps taking a look to see if maybe he got a pellet from the turf in his eye.
There's something going on, which the way J.C. French has played thus far, you want to roll with the hot hand if you talk about your starting pitcher being hot. Well, he's been unbelievably hot and not the opportunity that you want to have your reliever come in and try to take over some snaps while J.C. French gets right.
Now, French was knocked out of the win against Marshall. At the time, they were getting smoked in that game. Dexter Williams came off the bench, led 3 touchdown drives as they outscored Marshall 23-3 in the 4th quarter with Williams at quarterback. Let's see if we get a better indication of what could have happened here with J.C. French.
There's so many bodies piled up. It's so hard to see where French even is in that moment. And if those black pellets did get in his eyes, it'd be very uncomfortable, especially for a quarterback.
Dexter Williams time, looking for a little more late game magic. Here is Dalen Cobb. Cobb trying to turn the corner. Oh, still popping pads. There's a shot delivered by Reggie Neely. We're seeing the corners come up and hit tonight.
Yeah, we saw Tracy Hill Jr. do it for Georgia Southern. Now we see Reggie Neely. I guess if you're wearing number 12 at the quarterback position, you're not afraid. You lowering that shoulder and delivering the boom.
Williams was 10 of 14 for 135 yards in place of French, and that comeback win against Marshall, one of the greatest in Georgia Southern program history.
Is under video review.
I'm assuming they're checking for targeting.
So an element is under review. Yeah, it looks like the review is for a potential targeting call. And yeah, that is the definition of the crown of the helmet, that 6-inch radius at the top of the helmet of Reggie Neely. There needs to be an indicator as well, which would typically be a launch. Did Reggie Neely launch an attack into that tackle attempt?
I believe so, and with the helmet-to-helmet contact there as well, leading with the crown of the helmet, I think that's the indicator and why this play was initially reviewed by the replay booth.
And so a couple of layers at play. Definitely the crown of the helmet.
Yes.
That can be targeting regardless of where the contact is made on the player that is tackled. Other part of this, you also have contact to the head and neck area. But with both of those, you do need an indicator.
Yes.
It's really an aggressive move.
After video
review, the best way it's been summed up to me.
Personal foul, targeting with the crown of the helmet has been confirmed on number 12 of the defense. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Automatic first down. Number 12 has been disqualified from the game.
So Reggie Neely is out because of that targeting penalty. This means he will also miss the first half of the next game against Louisiana, which could be for all the marbles if South Alabama is able to hold on and win this game. Jaguars also thin at cornerback. Dexter Williams remains in for J.C. French. There's his version of the no-look. And into the slot to Derwin Burgess Jr. And J.C. French is back to run the offense for the Eagles. My apologies. French is still on the sidelines being checked out. And Dexter Williams remains in the game. Williams, backside pressure, gets out of it. Contact on the sideline and throwing low to Bunkley Shelton.
That's a great play by South Alabama's defense. If Norman had not been there to flush Dexter Williams out of the pocket, Josh Dallas was wide open on the wheel route. That would have been a big explosive gain. Dexter Williams flushed out, ultimately throws an inaccurate pass, sets up 3rd and 2 for this Eagles offense, and South Alabama is trying to get a stop.
Before 2 ACL injuries at Indiana, Williams known most for his legs. Instead, it's a give. O.J. Arnold to the second level and down to the 20-yard line. 18 yards for the junior out of Georgia.
Yeah, and you see big Caleb Cook, right guard, 6'3", 315, leading the way, fitting up on the defender. And O.J. Arnold goes to show you that explosiveness that he has, picks up a big first down on 3rd and 2.
Williams to Cobb. He's going to throw it. He's open. Broke it up. It was there for Tyler Fromm. until Jaden Voisin closed that gap quickly.
And that was as close as it gets. Pulling out all the stops, Ryan Applin calls the beautiful play. Ball slightly underthrown, but hey, it's a receiver throwing it. It's a great call. Voisin does a great job of defending it, getting that stop there on first down.
Voisin tied for the program record with 9 interceptions. Knows for the football. Williams jumping, throwing. He didn't get a touchdown through the air, but Dalen Cobb will get it as a receiver. And Dexter Williams is doing it again. For the second time, he leads Georgia Southern back from a fourth quarter deficit with J.C. French out with an injury. Magic running through that man's veins.
Dexter Williams staying composed in the pocket. And this is a play that Dalen Cobb absolutely snatches away from the defender, attacking exactly where Reggie nearly would have been.
Dexter Williams was in a battle to be the starting quarterback in preseason camp. Came up short in that competition, but coaches said he made the decision to be a great teammate. He's a great winner as well. Eagles up by 4. Next stop on the F1 schedule is Brazil for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix tomorrow, 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN2. Our pre-race coverage begins at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN News and ESPN Plus in English and Spanish, and at 11:30 on ESPN2. ESPN Deportes coverage beginning at 12:15. It says all the twists and turns of top level of international racing. Does it not? A game of runs here. It was 27 unanswered for South Alabama, now 21 straight for Georgia Southern because of this man, Dexter Williams. We were there in Statesboro when he put on a show coming in for J.C. French and leading a 20-point comeback, one of the most epic comebacks in program history. And when he needed to make plays, like on this third and gotta have it situation, he did. But the go-ahead score to Burgess, as in the final 6:45, the Eagles outgained Marshall 177-1. Flag down on the first down carry for Gio Lopez, and it's gonna be a hold against the Jaguars.
Holding. Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, we thought we may see 2 quarterbacks for Georgia Southern. Didn't think it was going to work out in this way, with French once again injured on that key 4th down conversion and still on the bench. He's got his helmet, he's got his pads on. We don't know what it means for the rest of this game for Georgia Southern, but they are in good hands. Now South Alabama desperately needs a response. Lopez unleashes one. Stampley picks it off. He had the game-sealing interception in the comeback win against Marshall, and another clutch INT. Only the second against Lopez all year.
As you see, Gio Lopez, it appears he's just pressing a little bit. He feels the momentum change and how the tide has shifted to Georgia Southern's favor. Felt like he pressed and needed to make a play. And in that moment, that's not the play that needed to be made, as he overthrows Jeremiah Webb. And Mark Stampley is there to be able to take advantage of the overthrown ball. And the defense was the catalyst that started the comeback against Marshall, and why they were able to pull off the comeback.
They had takeaways in the final 3 Marshall drives of that game. So interception number 3 for Stampley, the 5th of his career, and Georgia Southern has the football. This is where they would love to have one of those trademark long methodical drives, take as much time off this clock and get a touchdown.
the tale of two quarters. We saw South Alabama absolutely dominate the third quarter, and it has been flipped to all Georgia Southern in this fourth quarter.
And it started on the very first play of the fourth quarter. And that man, Josh Dallas, went the distance for a touchdown. He's got a drop, his first drop of the season, as J.C. French is now up, taking some warm-up snaps and throws. 3rd and 11. He's had a really good night. 22 and 27, 198 and 2 touchdowns. But Dexter Williams just has that clutch ability. Williams back it up, trying to get away. He does! Williams booking it for the sideline, just fighting to avoid the sack on that play. And so that'd be 4th down. Akil Washington was thinking, I've got a sack.
And you see Dexter Williams drops back. Akil Washington has him dead to rights. And Dexter Williams is like, nah. He does dance moves too as he pirouettes out of that tackle and turns what would have been a sack to a 1-yard gain.
I mean, it's not your robot, but pretty sweet feet there. Flag down for the snap. False start.
False start. Offense, number 10. 5-yard, 4th down.
If South Alabama can now come back and win this game, we're going to remember that sequence.
Yes.
The interception followed by a 3-and-out for their defense.
Yes, and that's a great sudden change stand, considering this defense has been on the field for a lot in the fourth quarter. Giving up stops, changing the tide right here is what they wanted to do.
The punt is off. Pritchett on the sideline and will step out of bounds inside the 30. Fozzie, his fourth quarter has been insane. It's the Fun Belt for a reason, is it not?
Absolutely, and you see J.C. French finding his one-on-one best connection, Josh Dallas, and then the running back who knows all about ball security, forcing a turnover, Jalen White in the offense, puts up 6, and then Dexter Williams comes in, delivers a strike to Dalen Cobb to take the lead in this game. It's been all Eagles in the fourth quarter so far.
South Alabama, after that fumble kick return, allowing their first points off turnovers this season. And Bishop Davenport is now in at quarterback. So Davenport got the start on the road at Ohio when Gio Lopez was out with the turf toe injury. Did you notice an injury to Lopez on that last interception?
I didn't. He did walk off the field kind of lethargically. I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just down on himself, but there's obviously more to it with Davenport taking the reins.
Trust in the ground game. Why not? This is what got you here. Big man, Bullock, taking bodies with him to the 49.
It's a big play right here. Reed buys the right guard. They like to pull him and put him out in open space, and then Kentrell Bullock shows you why he's one of the best to do it in the conference.
Will not get away. Welcome back, Justin Rhodes. His first game back from an ankle injury, impact play.
That's one way to bounce back from giving up a big, long game on the ground is force a TFL, and Justin Rhodes does that, defeating his one-on-one block.
One backup quarterback engineered a comeback. Can Davenport do the same for South Alabama? Flag is down, incomplete. Looking for Jamal Pritchett.
We got another penalty here. The ball was broken up by DeAndre Morris.
Holding. Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
We mentioned Bishop Davenport, sophomore out of Spring, Texas, got the start with Gio Lopez down against Ohio.
See the penalty. Preciado's arm is around the neck of Justin Rhodes as he's trying to rush the passer. You'll get called for that every single time right in front.
Davenport was locked in a tight game in the fourth quarter at Ohio. They trailed by 4 points for most of the fourth, couldn't get over the hump. 4-point game here. Davenport will scramble, and he's popped and forced out of bounds. How does the dynamic change with play calling with Davenport instead of Lopez?
Well, it's a lot on the line, especially trying to pick up 3rd and 15, fourth quarter with 4 minutes left. You got to be safe with the quarterback that hasn't thrown the ball all too much the entire night, but still got to be aggressive trying to pick up a first down by 4.
278 passing yards on the year, a touchdown, no interceptions. Davenport, 3rd and 15, got it! Jamal Pritchett throws him up, first down.
Well, they're safe and aggressive for you. Davenport does a great job, as if he's been playing all game long. He knows who his playmaker is. Get it to number 2.
Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Pritchett is going to look good for anybody. Now Davenport wants to run. Positive pickup for Reed. Dedman brings him down. Second down for Bishop Davenport. The backup, low throw. Is it caught? No. Incomplete. Anthony Eager, the intended receiver.
Just doesn't get enough mustard on it as it kind of skips into him low. And that's something that, in the rhythm of the game, if he had been playing more, maybe would have had an opportunity to get it out there more accurately.
Last third down, he got 17 when they needed 15. Bishop Davenport needs 4 here. Run all the way. He's got the room. First down, and feel me. Delivering the blow to Justin Myers. 11-yard pickup for Bishop Davenport.
Watch Kentrell Bullock here. The unselfishness pinned in, lowering the shoulder by Davenport.
On the ground. Bullock, Georgia Southern trying to rip the rock away down to the 15. Red zone has been a struggle all season long for the Jaguars offense. Bullock, stonewall. A large fall. Makes a stop from inside. There's Gio Lopez on the sideline. He can only watch. Left the game after throwing only his 2nd interception of the season. It's in the hands of that man, Bishop Davenport. Transfer from Utah State. Davenport loses it, got it back, sacked. Deshaun Davis sending him backwards. That takes us to the 2-minute timeout.
It's a huge play. Davis reads the misdirection and then gets on Bishop Davenport. It could have been way worse. Sets up 4th down whenever we come back from the 2-minute timeout.
Must-win game of the Sun Belt for both Georgia Southern and South Alabama. After that Deshaun Davis sack, it sets up a 4th and 13. Major Applewhite, the Jaguars electing to go for it. They still have 3 timeouts left. Look for Jamal Pritchett, number 2. He's made the clutch plays and is in motion now. Here comes the pressure. The Eagles will get home. Davon Gilmore, his first sack of the season.
And that's what you do whenever you have a young quarterback that hasn't played a ton of football. You heat him up inside of the red zone, force an early throw, or get him to think, sits in the pocket, and then Gilmore does the rest. And the pressure hits home and pays off huge dividends for Georgia Southern as they take over the football with 1:54 left in this game to try to ice it.
How aggressive do you call the plays for Dexter Williams here?
Don't have to be aggressive at all, but use his legs as a weapon to your advantage.
Instead, it's Jalen White. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And here comes the timeout for South Alabama. With the exciting fall season rolling along, the Sun Belt on ESPN Plus is your exclusive home for more than 1,400 games and events. It's also the destination for all Sun Belt championships. And for a limited time, new and returning ESPN Plus subscribers can get 12 months for the price of 9 months. Visit ESPNplus.com for more info. We talk about aggressiveness now. If you don't push it and you're Georgia Southern, you run the risk of giving it back to the Jaguars with still plenty of time to mount a touchdown drive.
Very true, but with Gio Lopez sidelined due to the injury and Bishop Davenport taking over, this offense looks drastically different and something that they are willing to probably risk if that does transpire.
Johnny Brown, offensive tackle, lined up as fullback, and a false start.
Officials are huddling up, talking about this for quite a bit of time, as it appeared to be a false start. But because the defense moved, could it have...
Delay of game. Defense. Disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So nowadays, that's usually a clap that simulates the clap from Dexter Williams to get the snap. And you see the split screen. J.C. French was knocked down on a critical 4th down conversion.
Yes.
Knocked out of the game. Dexter Williams came in, threw a touchdown to Dalen Cobb to give the Eagles the lead. Jalen White found just a sliver of daylight. And it's a first down as the Eagles inch closer and closer to an enormous win that you cannot overstate here in the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern and South Alabama both went into this game with one conference loss. Teams separated in the West and the East. For Georgia Southern, they got some good news coming in this game with the Old Dominion loss.
Yep.
So when they win, Georgia Southern will be the outright leader in the East. They have the head-to-head against Marshall, and their remaining schedule looks really, really inviting. It's the bottom teams in the Sun Belt. Why this is critical for South Alabama, they're in the loaded West, and Louisiana is the undefeated team. A loss here would mean 2, and Louisiana would be the next team you face. Ball is out. Clutch play by Jalen White to avoid disaster, Fozzie. Oh, my goodness.
That couldn't have worked out. Well, we talked about luck for South Alabama. Well, how about this? You see Dexter Williams goes under center. How many times do we see Georgia Southern line up under center? And those are the issues that you have whenever you haven't practiced under center in quite some time.
Back to the ramifications, though, for the Jaguars. It would be a second conference loss, and with the way Louisiana is playing, it would be very tough to catch them, and it would require a win head-to-head against Louisiana after the bye week. That was the type of play, though, South Alabama needed. 1:39 left. Jaguars can stop the clock one more time with a timeout. Give it to White. That's the bell cow. Ricky Hyatt Jr. with the tackle for loss. Will Major Applewhite use that final timeout here?
It's going to let the clock run and use it after this third down play. And going back to that botched snap, how many times have we seen the backup quarterback work snap center exchange with the starting center? Usually it's the number 2 center working with the number 2 quarterback, and that could be some of the miscues that transpired on that last fumble.
This will take us under a minute. So South Alabama will get the football back. If they play their cards right, you're going to stop here. It's still going to be dependent on how much time goes off the clock on this third down play. Nervous moments for both coaching staffs here. In the second half, in the third quarter, 17-0 edge for South Alabama. They are rolling. However, in the fourth quarter, 20 points for Georgia Southern. Domination. With the backup quarterback, Dexter Williams, finding the magic. But so much hinges on this 3rd and 16 play.
This game has been a game of runs. They say it in basketball all the time. We're seeing it unfold in the Sun Belt.
Eagles have to run the football here, and they do. It's going to be another carry for no gain, but that second surge is vital. Every second is precious. So now, if you're Georgia Southern, you got to take the delay, back yourself up before punting this one away. Take every moment off the clock. And for a moment, the clock has stopped as the officials get together to discuss. And November, it's been a disastrous month for Clay Helton as a head coach at Georgia Southern. Eagles are 1-7.
Will the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 47 seconds? Please reset the play clock to 40 seconds. Both clocks will start on the ready for play signal. It's 4th down.
So that means there will be a 7-second difference if Georgia Southern does take the delay.
And they'll probably call a timeout. They still have 2 timeouts in their pocket.
Correct.
So they'll let the clock roll down, then they'll call a timeout. Don't give additional yardage to South Alabama on the punt.
1-7 in November under Clay Helton. Never again. That's been the mantra of this Eagles team. And what this would mean for the program to start off this dubious month with a win. It was their goal to go into this month in position to contend in the Sun Belt. Not just contending, they will be leading the East if they can hold on to these final 8 seconds. Now, if you're South Alabama, what do you dial up on this punt?
So 8 seconds, there are different strategies that different coaches like to utilize. Some coaches will run all the way back, waste out the clock, and then just get a safety.
Yeah.
to eliminate any Hail Mary possibilities and have an opportunity to end the game right then and there.
But you better get out of that end zone.
But you have to get out of the end
It's
zone.
a long run, Fozzie.
Or you have to make sure that 8 seconds is up. That could be a strategy here. Or you punt it away and then just rely on your defense, who's done well in the fourth quarter, pitch the shutout, and try to force
if you're
something
Pritchett,
special.
with the clock winding on the snap, do you have to return this thing?
You probably have to.
Here's
Probably
Alex
have to.
Smith, biggest punt of the season for him. Sophomore from Melbourne, Australia. Got it off. That's win number 1. 4 seconds left. Pritchett will have to return this. No one behind him. The lateral out of the equation, and that does it. Georgia Southern finally gets the win. They were so desperate to deliver in the month of November. And they are the top dogs in the Sun Belt East. GATA get after their
Can't say that on live television.
backside. And in the fourth quarter, they did. What does this win mean for Clay Helton and his team?
Well, the never again mantra that you've talked about, a November to remember, this is the belief that they're able to build off of and truly make the stride into becoming a championship caliber team. This type of game shows you the gut and the attitude, and why this game is so special is because of what we witnessed last week. We had an opportunity to talk with Clay Helton throughout the week, and the key word was respond. You got embarrassed by ODU, and you did not put out your best showing, but how would this team respond? And we see they responded in a very, very positive way. Even when it didn't look good in the third quarter, they bounced back, believed. Dexter Williams provided the spark, Mark Stampley with the interception, the keys to success, and they were able to close out a big win.
Came down to both backup quarterbacks. Gio Lopez knocked out, J.C. French knocked out. And that takes us to the best moment presented by AT&T 5G. Dexter Williams off the bench in a huge touchdown toss to Dalen Cobb. He finds the magic yet again. That's how you cement a legacy. You don't do it just once, you do it twice now. Dexter Williams off the bench, engineering a fourth quarter comeback. Unreal job by Dexter Williams. And it's now time to catch up with Georgia Southern's head coach, Clay Helton. Coach, the fourth quarter, your guys could have packed it in. They did not. What was the difference?
Well, one, glory to God, and a bunch of great kids that we talked about responding all week. And not only did they, I thought they responded in this game, they responded when it mattered the most in the second half, and it was everybody from the starting quarterback to the backup quarterback to the defense finding a way to get stops. Great team victory for us on the road.
Coach, what does this mean for you and your team moving forward the rest of the season?
Yeah, this is November football. We said it's the start of a new season. I mean, every team in the country starts in January and works as hard as they can to build a resume where November matters. And November matters to us, trying to contend for a championship. And we needed to go 1-0 today at the start of this new season. And proud of these kids for getting it done.
Your team is the first this season to score a point off a turnover against South Alabama. That was set up by Terrence Gibbs on special teams. Talk to us about the significance of that play.
Yeah, you know, this was a team that was plus 10 in turnover margin, so you knew they knew how to protect the ball with Gio and crew. And to be able to get that spark, I thought really lifted our team up, and then to be able to finish. And then what can you say, man? Credit Dex. You know, you never know when your opportunity is going to come. You come off the bench, and Dalen Cobb makes a terrific play to get us ahead.
Coach, are all your games this crazy, or just when Fozzie and I are on the call?
It's fun watching the Eagles, so come out and see us again.
Finding some magic yet again. Coach Helton, congratulations on the win. We do appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Hail Southern. Take care.
Respond. That was the message, and they did. And that man right there, a lot of people in his position lost a job in preseason camp. They could have packed it in, gone away. Didn't get a shot after engineering that comeback, and Marshall could have went somewhere else. He didn't. He was locked in.
And we got to see the juggling guy as this game was juggled back and forth between both of these teams. It was an absolute dandy to watch all this transpire in Mobile, Alabama.
Georgia Southern in control of the Fun Belt East. For Fozzie, I'm Lowell. Thank you so much for watching.